Welcome, intuitive seekers. If you're reading this, congratulations on joining an extraordinary community dedicated to thriving in the ever-evolving journey of spiritual awakening and expanded consciousness. Here, we celebrate the transformative power of curiosity and connection, embracing the wisdom that arises from our shared experiences. You belong to a rare group of individuals marked by the symbolic crescent moon and the letter M, those blessed with perception that extends far beyond the obvious. Like Batman with his legendary detective abilities, you possess that uncanny gift for reading between the lines, for sensing the currents that flow beneath the surface of ordinary reality. Your intuition isn't just a feeling, it's a finely tuned instrument that allows you to anticipate movements in the shadows before others even notice the darkness. This heightened awareness connects you to deeper truths, to the unspoken languages of the universe that most walk past without noticing. This gift comes with both privilege and responsibility. As you continue your journey of awakening, remember that your ability to see beneath the surface isn't just for your benefit, it's a light that can illuminate paths for others who haven't yet discovered their own inner vision. If you possess these intriguing markings, you might be unaware of the powerful energies they influence in your life. It's essential to recognize that there are 7 crucial elements you should avoid to harness the full potential of your unique traits and lead a more fulfilling life. Before we dive into this intriguing topic, take a moment to reflect. If it resonates with your soul, drop a comment with 888 below. 1. The illusion of false belonging, a divine displacement. There is a peculiar ache that comes with feeling like an outsider, isn't there? It's as if the world has been painted in colors you can't quite name but are expected to understand. For those who carry the crescent moon and M, the intuitive seekers, it often feels like standing at the edge of a crowded room where everyone else seems to know the unspoken rules while you hold your breath, trying to decipher them. This sense of displacement, though uncomfortable, is not accidental. In fact, it's divinely intentional. Your soul was never meant to blend seamlessly into every crowd or ideology. Its essence thrives in spaces that honor its unique vibration. Yet, how easy it is to fall into the trap of false belonging. To force yourself into communities, relationships, or belief systems simply because they promise acceptance even when they demand conformity in exchange. But here lies the danger. Forcing yourself into alignment with something that doesn't resonate with your truth erodes your spiritual core. Like sandpaper smoothing away rough edges, these environments may seem to refine you, but what they truly do is strip away the raw authenticity that makes you extraordinary. When you silence your inner calling for the sake of fitting in, you betray the very purpose you were born to fulfill. And so, remember this: the discomfort of being an outsider is not a flaw, it's a feature. It keeps you aligned with your divine blueprint, ensuring that you remain open to discovering the tribe that will celebrate, rather than suppress, your gifts. Imagine a river flowing naturally through its course, carving paths through mountains and valleys, creating life wherever it goes. Now picture someone attempting to redirect that river into man-made channels, forcing it to flow against its natural inclinations. What happens? The water stagnates, loses momentum, and eventually becomes polluted by the artificial structures imposed upon it. This metaphor mirrors what occurs within us when we try to fit ourselves into molds designed for others. The soul, much like that river, yearns to move freely, guided by its own rhythm and direction. When forced into unnatural confines, it begins to lose vitality. You might initially feel relief from the pressure of a fitting in, but over time, the cost becomes clear: a dulling of your intuition, a muffling of your inner voice, and a growing disconnect from the universe's whispers. These symptoms of spiritual erosion manifest subtly: a nagging dissatisfaction, a creeping sense of emptiness, but their cumulative effect is profound. They signal that you've strayed too far from your authentic self. The antidote? Resist the siren call of easy acceptance. Instead, cultivate patience and trust in the process of finding or building a community that honors your individuality. True belonging isn't about changing yourself to match the group, It's about finding people who already see the beauty in your unaltered form. Your inner calling is more than just a quiet voice inside, it's the compass guiding you toward your highest potential. Yet, how often does fear drown out that guidance? Fear of rejection, loneliness, or failure can lead even the most intuitive among us to abandon our true path in favor of safer, more conventional routes. Perhaps you've convinced yourself that joining a particular social circle or adopting certain beliefs will bring peace and stability. But beneath the surface, something vital stirs, a restless energy urging you to break free, to stop denying what you know deep down to be true. That stirring is your soul reminding you of its mission. It knows that fulfilling your purpose requires courage, vulnerability, and sometimes solitude. Think of history's great visionaries, those who dared to defy societal norms and forge new paths. Their legacies weren't built on compromise, they emerged from a steadfast commitment to their inner truth. So ask yourself, are you silencing your calling because it feels inconvenient or intimidating? Or are you willing to embrace the uncertainty that comes with honoring your unique journey? Remember, the divine design placed you outside the norm for a reason. Your role is not to blend in but to stand apart, shining brightly enough to illuminate the way for others who also seek liberation from false belonging. Trust that the road less traveled is where your greatest growth awaits. 2. The sacred alchemy of rejection, turning no into divine direction. Rejection, though often cloaked in pain, is one of the most profound tools for spiritual redirection. For intuitive seekers, the bearers of the crescent moon and letter M, rejection can feel particularly acute because their heightened awareness allows them to sense the subtle undercurrents behind every dismissal. Yet it is precisely this sensitivity that enables you to transform rejection into revelation. Each no you encounter carries within it a sacred message, an invitation to recalibrate your path towards something greater. To let rejection fester into bitterness would be to squander its divine purpose. Instead, see it as a cosmic nudge steering you away from what no longer serves your highest good. When someone or something rejects you, they are not casting you out, they are setting you apart. This distinction is crucial. Being set apart means being preserved for something more aligned with your soul's mission, even if that alignment isn't immediately visible. Bitterness, on the other hand, acts like a poison, clouding your vision and anchoring you to past wounds. Instead of allowing resentment to take root, ask yourself, what is this moment teaching me? Where am I being guided next? Trust that every closed door is simply making room for a new opening, one that will lead you closer to your true calling. By reframing rejection as redirection, you reclaim your power and align yourself with the flow of universal wisdom. Every Benoa contains a hidden yes, though deciphering it requires patience, introspection, and faith. When you face rejection, whether from a job opportunity, a relationship, or a community you yearn to join, it's easy to interpret it as a personal failure or flaw. But the truth is far richer. Rejection is never about inadequacy, it's about misalignment. The universe operates on principles of resonance, ensuring that each soul finds its rightful place in the grand tapestry of existence. If a particular opportunity doesn't resonate with your energy, it cannot sustain you in the long run. Thus, when you receive a no, lean into the certainty that somewhere, a yes awaits, one that vibrates at the same frequency as your authentic self. Consider the story of countless innovators, artists, and visionaries who faced repeated rejections before finding their breakthroughs. Their persistence wasn't fueled by stubbornness, but by an unshakable belief that their work had a place in the world, a belief rooted in trust that their unique gifts would eventually find their audience. Similarly, your journey demands that same level of faith. Reflect deeply on moments of rejection and ask, what lesson lies here? What possibility might open up now that this path has closed? Often, the answers emerge. Quietly revealing opportunities you may have overlooked had you remained attached to the original outcome. Remember, the heavens speak through these moments, affirming that you are being prepared for something extraordinary. The line between processing rejection and succumbing to bitterness is thin yet significant. Processing involves acknowledging the hurt, sitting with it, and then releasing it as part of your evolution. Succumbing, however, means allowing that hurt to calcify into resentment, which blocks your connection to higher guidance. As an intuitive seeker, you possess the tools to navigate this delicate balance, but it requires conscious effort. Begin by recognizing that bitterness stems from resistance. It arises when we cling to expectations or demand justice for perceived wrongs, forgetting that life unfolds according to a broader plan beyond our limited understanding. To rise above grievance, practice surrender, not resignation, but active trust in the divine timing of your journey. Surrender asks you to release control over outcomes and focus instead on how you respond to challenges. 3. The illusion of earthly success, a detour from divine purpose. For those marked by the crescent moon NM, the allure of earthly success can be both seductive and deceptive. Society bombards us with images of achievement, wealth, fame, accolades as if these external markers define our worth. For intuitive seekers, chasing such conventional metrics often leads to a profound disconnection from their true mission. Why? Because you are wired not for worldly clocks but for divine timing. Your journey is orchestrated by forces far beyond human comprehension, designed to unfold in perfect harmony with your soul's evolution. When success arrives prematurely or through compromise, it risks becoming a glittering distraction, a shiny object that pulls your focus away from the deeper work you're here to accomplish. Consider this: what appears as triumph on the surface may actually derail your progress, anchoring you to pursuits that don't align with your higher calling. Envy of others' timelines only amplifies this danger, tempting you to measure your life against standards that were never meant for you. Instead, remember that each step along your path is divinely timed, even if it doesn't conform to societal expectations. Trust that every delay, detour, or pause serves a purpose, preparing you for the unique role only you can fulfill. By resisting the urge to idolize earthly success, you remain steadfast in your commitment to your sacred unfolding. Success achieved too soon or at the expense of authenticity carries its own set of perils. Imagine planting a seed and forcing it to sprout before its roots have taken hold. The plant might appear vibrant initially, but without a strong foundation, it will struggle to survive the storms ahead. Similarly, premature success can leave you ill-prepared for the responsibilities and challenges that come with it. For intuitive seekers, whose gifts are deeply intertwined with their spiritual growth, this mismatch between readiness and recognition can lead to burnout, disillusionment, or worse, a loss of connection to your inner guidance. Compromise compounds the issue. Achieving success by betraying your values or diluting your uniqueness may bring temporary validation, but it exacts a heavy toll on your soul. It creates cracks in your integrity, allowing doubt and self-betrayal to seep in. Over time, these fissures widen, making it increasingly difficult to hear the whispers of your divine purpose. True success isn't about reaching arbitrary milestones dictated by society, it's about embodying your fullest potential in alignment with your soul's mission. And that kind of success cannot be rushed, it unfolds naturally, in rhythm with your divine timing. So resist the temptation to chase accolades or envy those who seem to have it all. Their journey is theirs alone, just as yours is uniquely yours. Focus instead on cultivating the inner qualities: patience, resilience, authenticity that will sustain you when the time is right. Comparison is the thief of joy, and for intuitive seekers, it is also a barrier to fulfilling your divine purpose. When you gaze enviously at others' accomplishments, you inadvertently hand over your power to an external narrative that has nothing to do with your sacred unfolding. Each individual operates on their own timeline, shaped by lessons, experiences, and challenges tailored specifically for their soul's growth. What looks like success for someone else may not resonate with your truth, and vice versa. The key is to trust that your journey, no matter how unconventional or delayed it may seem, is precisely where it needs to be. This trust requires a radical shift in perspective. Rather than viewing delays or setbacks as failures, see them as evidence of divine precision. Every moment of waiting is an opportunity to deepen your understanding of yourself and refine the gifts you've been entrusted with. Ask yourself, what am I learning during this period of stillness? How is this experience shaping me for what lies ahead? By embracing non-comparison, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of measuring your worth against others and open yourself to the infinite possibilities of your own path. Remember, there is no competition in the realm of divine timing. You are not running a race, you are co-creating a masterpiece with the universe. Let go of envy and embrace the beauty of your sacred unfolding. Forget the weight of contaminated relationships, recognizing what drains your light. For intuitive seekers, the bearers of the crescent moon and relationships are not merely social constructs, they are energetic exchanges that shape your spiritual journey. Not every connection, no matter how cherished or long-standing, serves your highest good. Some relationships carry energies that cloud your vision, dim your light, and pull you away from your divine purpose. These contaminated connections act as spiritual blockages, subtly eroding your clarity and distorting your inner compass. It's essential to recognize that even those closest to you, family members, childhood friends, or mentors, can unintentionally hinder your growth if their energy is misaligned with yours. Their intentions may be loving, but love alone does not guarantee alignment. A parent who insists on traditional success metrics, a friend who thrives on drama, or a partner who resists your evolution can all create drag on your soul's momentum. The challenge lies in discerning which relationships nurture your path and which ones obstruct it. This discernment requires courage because it often means confronting uncomfortable truths about people you care deeply for. Yet, avoiding this introspection comes at a steep cost: stagnation. To remain tethered to relationships that blur your vision is to sacrifice your authenticity and delay your sacred unfolding. Remember, the purity of your path depends on the quality of your connections. Letting go of what no longer serves you is not abandonment, it's an act of self-preservation and spiritual integrity. Pruning unhealthy relationships is one of the most painful yet necessary aspects of maintaining spiritual clarity. Think of a gardener tending to a rose bush. Without regular pruning, dead or diseased branches sap vital nutrients from the plant, stunting its growth and preventing it from blooming to its full potential. Similarly, toxic or misaligned relationships drain your energy, leaving little room for the vibrant expansion your soul craves. But here's the hard truth: pruning isn't always easy, especially when sentimentality clouds your judgment. You might cling to a relationship out of guilt, obligation, or fear of loneliness, convincing yourself that it's not that bad or they'll change. However, waiting for someone else to align with your energy rarely works. Growth must come from within, both for you and for them. If a relationship consistently leaves you feeling drained, confused, or disconnected from your inner voice, it's time to reevaluate its place in your life. This doesn't necessarily mean severing ties completely, though sometimes it does. It could involve setting boundaries, reducing contact, or shifting the dynamic to protect your energy while still honoring the bond. The key is to approach this process with love, not spite or resentment. Understand that releasing a relationship is not a rejection of the person but a release of the role they play in your journey. By doing so, you make space for healthier, more aligned connections to enter your life. 5. Isolation as preparation, embracing the sacred whisper. Isolation is often misunderstood, even feared, in a world that glorifies constant connection and noise. For those marked by the crescent moon and however, solitude is not punishment, it's preparation. It is in these moments of quiet retreat that divine instructions are whispered directly to your soul. Yet, how tempting it is to fill every gap of silence with distractions. Social media, entertainment, or idle chatter can seem like soothing balms for loneliness, but they often serve only to drown out the voice you most need to hear, your own. Noise kills clarity because it overwhelms your senses and scatters your focus. Stillness, on the other hand, acts as fertile soil where revelations take root and grow. When you allow yourself to sit with your thoughts without judgment or interference, you create space for profound insights to emerge. These revelations aren't always dramatic. Sometimes they come as gentle nudges, subtle shifts in perspective, or sudden bursts of inspiration. But make no mistake, they are divinely guided, tailored specifically to illuminate your path forward. To neglect your solitude is to turn away from this sacred gift. Instead, embrace isolation as an opportunity to deepen your relationship with yourself and the universe. Let go of the fear of being alone and recognize that solitude is not emptiness, it is fullness waiting to be discovered. 6. Comfort zones, dangerous sanctuaries of stagnation. Comfort zones masquerade as safe havens, offering the illusion of security and ease. For those chosen with the crescent moon and the path of awakening, these familiar spaces can quickly become dangerous sanctuaries. Settling into comfort means trading purpose for predictability, exchanging the unknown for the known. While there's nothing inherently wrong with seeking stability, staying too long in one place stifles growth and dulls your spirit. Your soul was built for adventure, for venturing into uncharted territories where transformation occurs. The promised land, the fulfillment of your destiny, never comes to those who camp in the familiar. Think of life as a river. Its vitality depends on movement, on flowing through rapids and winding around obstacles. If the water remains stagnant, it grows murky and lifeless. Similarly, when you cling to comfort, you cut off the very currents that sustain your evolution. Growth happens outside your comfort zone, in the places where uncertainty reigns and challenges abound. It's in these moments of stretching beyond what feels safe that you discover your true capabilities and uncover hidden reservoirs of resilience. So ask yourself, are you playing it safe at the expense of your potential? Or are you willing to step boldly into the unknown, trusting that the universe has prepared you for whatever lies ahead? 7. The call of the unknown, answering your soul's deepest yearning. Your soul yearns for expansion, for experiences that stretch its boundaries and ignite its passions. Answering this call requires leaving behind the familiar, the routines, relationships, and environments that once provided solace. Stepping into the unknown is inherently risky, filled with uncertainties and challenges that test your resolve. But here's the paradox: the greatest risks yield the greatest rewards. Every great leap forward begins with a willingness to let go of what's comfortable and embrace what's possible. For intuitive seekers, this journey is especially poignant because your gifts demand activation through experience. You cannot fully realize your potential without encountering trials that force you to dig deeper, think bigger, and dream bolder. Each challenge you face serves as a catalyst, propelling you closer to your divine purpose. Along the way, remember that fear is natural, it's a sign that you're growing. Instead of resisting it, acknowledge its presence and use it as fuel for courage. Trust that the universe equips you with everything you need to navigate the unknown, including the lessons learned during periods of solitude. As you venture further from the familiar, you'll begin to notice patterns emerging, synchronicities guiding your steps, opportunities appearing just when needed, and a growing sense of alignment with your mission. These signs confirm that you're exactly where you're meant to be, even if the terrain feels unfamiliar. Answering your soul's call is not about rejecting comfort entirely, it's about choosing purpose over complacency whenever the two collide.